First question for you guys. What is the differences between either side? Okay, good. Power positions, P2. Now, I'm just talking from a break-off perspective. What is the differences between the P2 side versus the Esky side? Okay, some sides favor one or the other. Auto veto, good answer. But in this case, with the answer that some sides favor one or the other, why do you have particular sides that favor particular sides of a map which are favored? Stay off the wheel. one is good side, but not necessarily because of the spawns. Not necessarily because of the spawns. I like the answer, Chance, but a side is not good or bad in relation to the spawn, at least for the break-off. A certain side, okay, let's expand. A certain side is better for P1, but from what perspective? Team 2 has a better timing to get to hedges. Other teams go to P1 or offset the head. Good. So this is a common thing with all break-offs. You have a good side and you have a bad side. A good side is considered to be the good side because of either the timings you have to get into power positions or the lanes that you can take in order to get these power positions, in order to trade and then put teams in a blend. Whether it's either from using stuns, using nades, or giving yourself the ability to get into these positions to get your first kill, to get your guarantee, to get to these spots first. For you guys who may not know, or have never experienced it, pro card is essentially how do I get into a good position before you. If I get into a good position before you, it gives me a significantly higher percentage chance of winning that gunfight, which then impacts the trades later on. So right here, chat, for you guys who are new, Vancouver are on what we consider to be the good side of Redcard because they have the ability to either use stuns and nades to get into power positions first, to then dictate the trades, get them spawning in a disadvantageous position, and then we can worry about what spawns we need for the P2 rotation. I really, yes. So P1 is easier to hold from Surge's side because of the fact that they have the power positions and the lanes and the ability to fill and help off spawn immediately. That is why. What's good, Eternals? And I show up late. Appreciate the advice. No worries, brother. No worries. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're just getting into it. So from a flow perspective, chat. From a flow perspective, for my regulars in the chat, when you make kills on a P1 red card, what is, from a flow perspective, how do you want to play it? Give me a general idea from my regulars. Yo, we got Eternals World and Eternals. Holy shit, twin. We are fucking locked. So right here, chat. What is the flow? What is the flow? What is the ideal end goal setup that you'll see teams like LAT do, teams like Vancouver do from both sides? From both sides. Stage and head control, push up for spawns, hedges and tickets, flow through hedges, fill globe stage, push out right the hedge. Kez, you are not allowed to answer anymore. You are not allowed to fucking answer. You get the fuck. You just put your hands on your legs. You are not allowed to answer. Yeah. So when we talk about flow, chat, when we talk about making trades, so in this situation here, where's my fucking pen? Vancouver have made 3 kills. Oh my shit. They're 3 for 1, so they have the advantage. Now, when we talk about flow, 1 and done for Kez, yeah. When we talk about flow here, chat, and these are things that teams will practice. This is what we call the game plan. This is what we call an ideal scenario or a situation once you make trades, okay? Newcomers in... Oh, fair enough. So, both sides, this is how you want to do it. LAT are fantastic. Right, so if you're coming from the P2 side, you want somebody bumped out playing for buses. You can have one guy playing towards time, one guy on globe, and then one guy playing flowers. Why are you doing scrap today? I'm stuck in work. This is just the day. Right, chat. From a flow perspective, what do you guys notice from a flow perspective by setting up like this? What do you guys notice, and why do teams set up like this? So when I talk about flow, I'm talking about anus filled with, chicken snitty, yep, spot on. But besides that, what do you guys notice from a flow perspective? So Flowers is here. This is Flowers. This is the fourth guy. So first guy, second and third, and then fourth guy here. Now I want you guys to start thinking. Let's start thinking. Why is this the go-to setup on both sides? Why is this the go-to setup on both sides? Why do we want to get into this setup? I want to see your guys' answer, then I'll give you an explanation. Flowers blocking from there. Yes, Flowers does block. Yep. Kez. No. You are not allowed to answer. You're cutting the map, and the only route they can take puts them in a spawn trap for P2. Outer is 3 kills off time. Very easy to bomb forward. Kills for map control. Good answers. Now, the reason why you want to do this is when you are in a setup. Resurrected, welcome to the chat. Yes, that is the answer I'm looking for, Gridlock. Because everybody is in a position where they can play hybrid spots to help each other. The whole purpose of a setup is you understand where they're spawning. They'll be spawning around here, right? So let's draw our thing like this. Based on how far he's pushing, right? You understand what routes they could take. You understand the timings of such routes, okay? The whole purpose of a setup is you're maximizing the advantageous position you're in. Now, when you are flowing in this way, chat, you are in hybrid positions where you get specific information early, and you're in positions where you can help each other team fight and crossfire. The spots that you can play don't necessarily have to be the same every single time. It's just the general idea of what you want to pick up first. This is perfect world scenario. It's not necessarily perfect world scenario. It's what we're trying to push when we get killed, right? So let's say you get a 3 down. Let's say there's a 3 down, but you guys have been traded. Well, if you're spawning up close because you've made kills on the enemy, the first guy in the flow is trying to push this out to then refill as necessary because they're in positions where they can trade and help each other. And a following question to that is, what's so significant about this guy? If he's the first guy in the flow, what is significant about what he's doing? Why is that so important? What can he do if you get a clean wave? And this is where flow becomes really important, especially in a setup, right? Flow meaning what lanes are you going to pick up in relation to what order you are in the situation. Like, who's responsible for what, right? So he's the first guy in the flow. What is significant about what he can do? Check them out, keep them contained, and looking for him. So he has 2 options. Yes, that's the answer I'm looking for. Now, yes, use joke. You can keep him contained. You can, if you wanted to, he can stay alive here, and they can waste time looking for him, right? Bearing in mind, they've spawned here. So there's a good chance that they start taking these routes. That's what good teams would do, right? But right here, he doesn't need to flip him out, chance. As long as we're blocking Flowers, we're good. He doesn't have to flip him out. But he has what we call a free life. He has a free life. Free life meaning that if he is quick enough and he doesn't value his life, he can catch people sprinting. And he can get specific information immediately, because then if he dies and he makes a kill and prevents them from running or getting map progression or map control, he's just going to spawn close towards time anyway to refill wherever that specific information is telling you. And then that's how you maintain flow. That's how you then maintain efficiency in the areas of the map you control, and you keep rinsing, repeating, and doing the same thing. And then this guy here, based on that information, he can push out, do the same thing, play his kills, rinse and repeat. That's how you get the efficiency aspect in Call of Duty, and that's how you refill power positions to do it again, and that's how you soak time again and again and again and again. So that's the importance there of using that free life. How do I need to think to break this setup? Now, that was going to be the next thing I was going to suggest or talk about here. So chat, what's good, Lee? Let's say you're spawning here, right? Let's say you're spawning here, and the enemies have this, and this, right? They're all in hybrid spots. When it comes to breaking hill, you want to use the spawn you're given. What if the other team... That's when you adapt. That is called adapting, and you adapt in the moment based on the information that you get. So right here, chat, you've spawned in a particular spot, right? Your spawn is going to tell you where their furthest pushed out player is, right? Based on where you spawn, you get an understanding of where their furthest pushed out player is. You're the first guy in a break. Your job is to take that route. Now, when it comes to breaking hill, chat, you're figuring out exactly how the enemies are set up, right? That's one piece of information. So if you're the first guy off spawn, you're taking the route to dictate the break. Why do we want the first guy taking a route, chat? Why? If you guys are my regulars, you guys already know. Why do we want the first guy taking a route? What is the purpose of the first guy doing it? Okay. Why does he have the timing? So, good answers. Now, expand that a bit more. Why does the first guy usually have the timing? Not necessarily flip spawns. That's not why the first guy does it. Not necessarily. They're going tweak, looking for the first swift, but why is it that the first guy has the timing to take a route? What do yellow team have to worry about? What's good, Sir Style? Gets map control and pressure on the map. Good. Okay, good. But that's an answer. That's a step 2. Why does he have the timing? Think about it. Because the other... Exactly. So Scapoon is right. So think about being LAT in this situation. The yellow team in this situation. You're worried about the quickest route to you. You're worried about the lanes closest to you. You're not worried about these lanes here as the first thing to pick up because you're worried about the QRP. Yes, now we're thinking, guys. Good answers. The reason why the first guy takes that route is his timing is going to be the best or the most probable in taking a route that the enemies are going to pick up last. Your rest of your teammates then refill around that based on what the first guy does. QRP is the quickest route possible. So if you had to come off spawn and get into the action, what route are you going to take the quickest route to either the point or to a gunfight? Right? So these guys are going to be tweaking about their quickest routes, which is basically up the Eskies trying to challenge. So while they're watching for the Eskies, child thinking, right, what if you take the quickest route to the point or the quickest route possible? It opens up the timings to then get map progression to set up a break. This is a long-winded answer in me explaining that when a team is fully set up, the way that you break or minimize the disadvantage you have from a fully set up team is by taking routes and taking fights of where the enemy is the softest. Your spawn is telling you where one player is at the very least, where they're pushed out, right? So when you do that, you flip the map on the enemies. You're thinking, right, you guys, appreciate the prime, brother, thank you so much. You guys think, right, you guys have this map control. You guys have this side of the map. Right? So it doesn't make sense for us to continue to fight because if we get this kill, you're going to spawn close anyway. If the first guy's taking the longest route, he sets up the break because not only does he deny the closest spawn to the hill, right? If you have no map progression, enemies are going to spawn close to the hill. But then also, you are taking fights and making them useless. So this ties into the situation where this is why free lives are really important. So if... Let's say in this situation, chat, this guy is doing nothing, and who was it before? Who said it before? So use joke. So this one's an explanation on why you necessarily don't want to sit. Is if he sits and does nothing, you guys can take routes and take fights that make him useless. So you're now technically in a 4 versus 3. Dependent on what routes you take, you can make this guy useless. Now you're in a 4 versus 2. And so that's how you set up a break. It's about the challenge and the skill is understanding, okay, you guys have that map control. How can we play ahead? How can we think 1 or 2 steps ahead? So by taking these routes and challenging where the enemies are the softest, you can basically or effectively get rid of 2 people unless he uses his free life. And that's why specific information is so important. You see how there's a link between both? If he gets specific info, then this guy can shift and adapt where needed. This guy can do whatever he needs to. So that's how you break, and that's how you use your free life. If that makes sense. They get no time to get comfortable. Exactly. So imagine you come off spawn, right? Imagine you come off spawn, and you're taking these routes. Imagine this guy does this, as long as you're blocking, right? You're gonna catch people sprinting, and then you're in an advantage for the next wave. And then based on where he is, they'll be spawning buses. As long as this is blocked, you can then adapt from that. So Call of Duty is about sticking to the game plans, but then when you're in situations like this, how can you adapt to win that next wave to then do it again? Is it better? Both. It's very situational. If you can get a kill, good. The whole idea is you just got to get into the action. You just got to go and get in the action, because if you stay alive, they can make you useless. It's literally your go button in kill whoring. Go and kill whore. Go and find kills. If you die, who cares? You're going to spawn good anyway. You're going to spawn closer to the time. Yeah, I'd rather die and get info. Yeah, exactly. Right, keep it playing. So right here, chat. What do you think? What do you think they did wrong here? Or what did you think Vancouver messed up here? What do you think they did? What do you think Vancouver messed up on here? And what pieces of information is Neptune going to give them? Yeah, one isn't blocking. Good. And what's good, JG? Yeah, good. One isn't blocking, and they didn't block right here. So they push past the 50-yard line. If you don't block, the game is going to want to flip. So right here, they don't do that. Draw a line. And then right here, always chat, always when you guys are in ranked. What should this guy be saying? What should this guy be saying? Remember, guys, if you do not get the closest spawn to the hill, that is giving you information. Not just flipping, but it needs to tell you where at least 2 people are going to be. At least 2 people. If you do not, general rule of thumb, if you guys have watched me play ranked, the amount of times people call me hackers, because I know where at least 2 people are based on my spawn. If I do not spawn close to the hill, the closest spawn you can get to the hill, someone is manipulating somewhere. Right? So right here, he's going to say, yo, I think there's someone bus stop side and this flower side. They're going to be both sides. That's the comp. Yo, check your bus. Yo, check your flowers. That's it. That's what you say. They are split. Yes, that's what you say. Nasty. The one is down. He picks up the 2. Exactly, Connor. Good answer, Connor. Yep. Vancouver at the time. First time to Vancouver, and they're going to hold it for as long as they can. Okay, 30 seconds left. Look at how they play. Look at how they take their fights. When do I know when I need to take the route? Is it when we go forward down or every time? It is, number 1, your spawn tells you when to take a route. Number 2 is if you have no progression on the hill. When you have no progression on the hill or no kills on the hill, then you take a route. That's understanding what situation you are in. If you, just to go back here, chat, apologies, but let's say right here. Appreciate the tier 1 jag. Jag. I mean, if you have, let's say, a teammate already fighting here, and for whatever reason, an enemy's here and you spawn here, right? Then you can start helping him. Use that progression. If he dies and you have no progression and no map control, then you take the route. It's based on the wave. Like you spawn up, look at your minimap. Okay, do we have any sort of control? Use the control. Do we not have control or map control or progression? We take routes. No map progression, take routes. Map progression, use it. Keep it stupid, simple. Simple as that. Okay, right here. Look at the way Vancouver take their chals. 5 is telling you, right, they're going to be both sides again. Very good. Okay. What's the time? Chat, what's the time on the clock? Chat, what's the time on the clock? And from a fundamental perspective, what should both teams be doing? What's the time on the clock and what should both teams be doing? 20 seconds, setting up for new. Surge try and hold their spawn and LAT try to flip, rotate. Yep, rotate for both teams. Very good. So, keep it simple. Step 1 of the pyramid is, yes, we're trying to play ahead and rotate. Rotation can mean both we're flipping spawns and we have progression for new. Because you can do two things. You can, if you're on this side, you can play to get control of new while also keeping them on one side of the map. But then LAT also have the potential to say, hey, we could take routes because we want this side of the map, or we can push through to play for this side of the map. It's, again, based on what map progression, what kills, and what this situation is at the moment. Why did Neptune not wrap back bus side to stop splits from happening? Let's see what he does here. I mean, he is, no? Oh, wait, Neptune, you said. I mean, this is fine. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Maybe it's their game plan to play for that side. And the reason why I say maybe it's their game plan to play from that side is because I've seen Vancouver do this 3 times before, where they will actually play to get you spawning here on the rotation of P2 as long as they have this, rather than giving you these spawns to then take these routes. So this looks like it's intentional to me. This looks like it's their game plan in order to do so. Which makes sense to me. Which it does make sense, and I'll explain why. But that spawn is insane. I understand it, but Jesus, he's not reading that. Okay. Right, so this makes sense, chat. This makes sense. So, when it comes to rotating to the hill, it's about understanding, number 1, where are you spawning them? And number 2, what hybrid spots or positions or progression do you have in that rotation? The key to P2 is you want stage control and you want pressure through the hill. You want it, as long as you're essentially, what you'll see teams do is they essentially play a line through here. That's what you want to do, right? Now, right here, chat. Why do you think Vancouver are okay with spawning them either here or here, based on ticket control? Why do you think they are okay with that? Why do you think they're fine with that? I'm curious to what you guys think. Why? Why do you think it's okay to have them? It's spawning them far from new, okay. But why do they not fully commit in pushing this way to spawn them at least lights while P1 is still up? Or potentially, if this guy's in ticket, potentially on P2, based on where these two are. Why have they not fully committed in doing that? Think about it. Think about, put yourself in their shoes while you're actually playing. Timings, too many routes to account for. Even if LAT get kills, it will take them a long time. Yes, so the whole idea is, okay, sure, you might give them a chance to play for this side when P2 pops, right? Sure. And then you're in a blend if you die, and then you end up spawning here or here based on where LAT are, right? The reason why you do this is you keep it stupid simple. Just keep them on a side. If you already have this side of the map, remember, chat, remember, what is so powerful about playing on this side of the map is, well, if they're coming from here, you have all the head glitches, don't you, chat? Remember, let's say this is 50 seconds on a P1. We came to the conclusion, chat, that playing from the P2 side of P1 while you have these hybrid spots is super fucking overpowered. We came to that conclusion, didn't we? Now, the reason why Vancouver love playing from this side and they keep you spawning here while on the rotation to P2 is once it puts them in a position where if they already have the power spots and the hybrid spots, it gives them a great fucking chance of winning that wave. And once they win that wave, they'll get you spawning here. So the way they're playing is, right, okay, we're going to treat it as though this is 30 seconds left on a P1. We're going to put ourselves in power spots to win that next wave. Once we then trade out and win that next wave, we can turn around because it's easy to then pick up these lanes from these power spots while you're spawning them here. That's why they do it. That's why you'll actually notice, chat, LAT do the same thing. We started to do the same thing. Is, sure, you want to spawn them here. Sure, you want to spawn them market, right? That's like the spawn. That's like the kill box. You don't want to spawn them lights. I'll explain after, right? So hold your questions. But right here, you want to spawn a market. But you'll realize what we do, LAT do, Boston do, Vancouver do, is even if there's 3 seconds left on P1, keep the game controlled, keep them on a side, because it's still technically like a P1. They still have to go through the same lanes. And if you have the map, it's going to give you the best chance of winning that next wave to then get what you want. Yes, Gucci Sandals, they guarantee lanes and trades like you would if P1 was 35 seconds, 40 seconds. Same shit. Keep them on a side, keep the game controlled, and then when P2 pops, then we can turn around and adapt. It's about how can you win that wave and how can you give yourself the best chance during that wave. Wave meaning that team fight, that life. How can we guarantee the team fights and the waves, the team fights during that life to then set up the next wave? That's how pro players are thinking. It's the macro with the micro. It's like, right, we're going to spawn you on this side of the map. How can we then win that next wave? Because now we know what routes you're going to take. We have the good spots. We have the power positions. And remember, chat, pro COD is all about just getting the good spots first. Be fast with how you get to these spots. And understand the power of these spots. Now, right here, every kill LA Vancouver will make, you spawn in LAT here. You see that? And now they end up putting themselves in a advantageous spot to win the wave. And now the next wave, they sweep. They're good. Now they're LAT in the blend. This is the general breakdown. The scrap breakdown will be in like 30 minutes. We'll be after this map. I already have the video I want to watch for scrap. But I need you guys to understand the macro before we do the micro, because it's all linked. How you play on a micro level is linked to a macro, meaning where do you need to be, what do you need to do. It then dictates how you take fights, what fights you take. Holy shit, Ernie's turned on him. Right, 17 seconds. Okay, chat, so right here, why do LAT not rotate? For my regulars, you guys should know. Right here, why are LAT not just going backwards? If you guys have watched my locker room clips on Twitter, you will know. Why have they not just done that? Why are they continuing to put pressure on the time? And this is the answer is similar to whoever asked earlier about when to take a route, right? They have plenty of time to keep Surge pushed out. Good, but give me more, give me more, give me more. So I'll give you guys a hint. So right here, why? So put yourself in Hydra's position. Why has Hydra decided to do this to help time instead of doing this with like 7 seconds left? Keeps them far from new. Good answer, but even more simpler than that. These are all the answers you guys are giving me are an effect of something. It's as a result of something. So spawning them deep is a result of what? Of what in particular? Look at the minimap here, chat. What do you guys notice? Free cut off keeps them far from new. Pressure. Okay. Good. He's blocking since the hill is still up. You don't need to block in this situation. So he could do this and still block. Now, Gucci Sandals, used joke. That's the answer I'm looking for. Expand on that answer. It's a bunch of free lives. It's not a bunch of free lives, and I'll explain why. It's actually the opposite. They have numbers. Okay, keep going. What's the fundamental behind this? I mentioned it about breaking. What do they have here? And Optic did the same thing when Hassi ended P3 rotation, and Seattle did the opposite against Boston on this P2 rotation. What is different? What is specific about this situation? I want you guys to start thinking like pros now. You come off, what are you seeing? Power positions, good. Numbers, yes, Lieb, that's the answer I'm looking for. That is the answer I'm looking for. Whether or not you rotate and whether or not you play safe is entirely dependent on a few things. Well, it's dependent on a few things. Number one, are the kills in your favor? And number two, do you have progression? And number three, do you have numbers? So right here, chat, what do you notice about LAT, right? So we'll break it down for you. I'll break it down for you guys. So whether or not you rotate, so remember this is like 6 seconds, right? Is dependent on what's going on during that previous wave. You come off spawn. First of all, your spawn is telling you something, right? So right here, look at the spawn Paco gets. So he spawns close to the hill, right? Okay, he spawns close to the hill, right? There's no pressure from Vancouver past the 50-yard, right? So now, the reason why he's taking Charles towards time is because his teammates had progression on P2. You can rotate from a hill on, so a hill like this, onto a hill on the other side of the map in 2 ways. And it's entirely based on whether you have, well, it's based on whether you have kills, progression, or numbers. Right here, they have progression. So if Paco plays and uses the progression that LAT have, he can then help go 1 for 1, 1 for 1, 1 for 1. And to your guys' point, as a result, if they start trading, going 1 for 1, they'll keep them spawning back here. Which then makes the rotation easier because now you know who you're looking for and the timings and so on and so forth. If LAT didn't have progression and Paco spawns deep, he's going to play his life. They're then going to play tight towards time in the understanding that we don't have numbers, we don't have trades. So if we die, it's not a free life. It's only a free life because they have progression. Because you're denying Vancouver pushing out of the time. When you deny Vancouver pushing out the time, you keep them spawning at the back. They can't block you. They can't end up flipping you out. Okay? Numbers. When you don't have numbers, then you're at a risk of flipping out. Here and here. So when you have numbers, you can take the risk and play a high line. This is what we call a high line on rotation. You can play a high line on rotation under the assumption you're going 1 for 1 and you keep them spawning back. Because you're denying, you're holding the door, your Hodor in this situation. When you don't have numbers and you don't have kills, you cannot be Hodor in that situation. Hodor is going to die and Hodor is going to be fucking spawning out in fucking Narnia. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference right here. Both, Deeks, both. When you come off spawn, you need to look at your minimap. Right? That's it. Man-to-man pressure on rotation. If you guys know football, European football, you're man-to-man marking. But you can only man-to-man mark if you already have the progression and you have the kills. And you come off spawn, you look at your minimap. Your minimap has to be the first thing you're looking at. Your spawn is telling you what's going on, and your minimap is telling you what's going on. Your kill feed is telling you what's going on. Bet, we have kills, I'm going to help you. Right, I'm the last guy in the flow. Okay, my job is to then at least keep the game controlled, as I would if there's 50 seconds left on the time, and then help you when needed. If you don't press, exactly. What do we, Jag G, what do we call this? What is this called when we're on the same page? What is it called? You have the emote for it. What do we call it? It's doing what? What is it doing? Hive mind. You're doing something together. Hold on, chat. I've got a bloody text message. Business calls. Anyway, yes, we're hive minded. We're on the same page on what we want to do. We either rotate together or we play a high line together. This is what we call a high line. Text us a good rate in Hacienda, especially if you guys want to watch my clip. Good shit, guys.
Beautiful stuff there. Surge are going to get in for a brief 10. But the hard point, or the next one, is on the far left-hand side of the map. That is going to be
right. Okay.
If they choose to run towards it.
Now look at what Paco was trying to do. He's trying to play like now. You see the issue. When you don't win your trades, it's a double-edged sword. If you win your trades, you secure the P3 row. But right here, like let's say this is a situation where you're the only guy on P2, and everyone else rotates, if you die, you're spawning out guaranteed, 100%. So it's either you all have to do it, or you all have to come back. In this case, they don't win the trades, they spawn out.
The pinch is going to be rolling through Scrap, keeping the players containing, forcing the depth spawn, but frankly, I don't know where it's going to be rolling through.
Right, they have numbers here, so look at them trying to ape together. Aping together, ape together strong. Nice. Right, 40 seconds left, they just got the wave. Their spawn is telling you where at least one person is. Wow. Good. Yeah, good plays by Nep here. I'm telling you, if you do not get a close spawn to the hill, chat, your spawn is telling you where at least one person is. So right here, this is not a close spawn to the hill. So you should say, yo, someone's gonna be mid. Someone's through spiral or mid somewhere. That's how you know where everyone is going to be.
Still spawning in the back, for now not a terrible thing. Neptune, he's on the front door. Cuts his way in. Wonderful two. That's 3 dead in the feet. Yeah, the one small mistake. Neptune slipped the net, got through the setup.
Nep is moving.
He is going to deliver his team the time.
Okay, 25 seconds left.
They got right from the jump on P1, and I mean, here we are in a P3.
So let's look at 3 and 1. Right here, chat. Right here, chat, okay? My question to you guys is, what's the time on the hill? What's the time left on the hill, chat? 24. Okay, so what should they be doing? If there's 24 seconds left, what should both teams be trying to do? Or thinking about doing? Playing for new, okay? Playing for new doesn't necessarily mean you give up scrap and you fucking everyone go to new. The intention and the goal is for new, right? So, now let's think like a pro here, okay? He spawned out. What does that mean? What does that mean? I want you guys to think like pros now. Think like your LAT in this situation. He spawned out. What does that mean? Cutting off routes for new. Good. Someone is outer. Good. So, in that case, what should him and him be doing? Good. Good answers. Now, put yourself in Envoy's shoes and put yourself in Scrap's shoes. Play safe. Why do we want to play safe? Not back up, Deeks. Not back up because you might not have the timing to back up. But right here, you need to understand you have to play safe and you have to play your kills. You can't go rogue. You can't try and world star push up and force kills, right? Why is it important that these guys play safe? Why? Good. We hold progression for the other team and we do something called counter blocking. So right here, Scrap's in a position where he's blocking any mid spawns. He's in a position where he's blocking any bus spawns. And even if this guy does this or this, it's on him to make the play. It's on him to make the play so these guys stay alive to counter block, meaning if they then make kills based on where he is, they'll either spawn here or here. Right? So this is adapting in the moment. This is communication right here. This is communication. This right here, chat, is communication. This right here is Paco like, yo, stay the fuck alive. There's 25 seconds. We need to play for new. New is a fucking money hill. We have to start thinking about new. It's on number 2 to make the play. Yes, if you're number 2, I'm Deeks. I am telling you right here. Paco is screaming, yo, play your fucking kills. Stay alive. Stay alive. Don't do anything. No world stars, no rogues, no trades, nothing. No. You play your lane, you play your kills, and you try and catch people scamming. Number 2, it's on number 2 to make the play right here. Right from the jump on P1, and I mean, here we are in a P3. It's again a pinch spawn. And because of that, because they stayed alive, they then killed out the furthest pushed up guys, ended up spawning here because they counter blocking. Number 2 can activate. They then, because they've killed the furthest pushed out guy, they're spawning in good. Because number 1 dies, number 2's in a position where he's potentially blocking all 3 spawns. Mid is open. The game's like, nope. I'm tweaking. I'm going to spawn you out. So that was just unfortunate. Okay. Let's see how Vancouver play this.
Thieves spawn deep. They are trapped for now. Surge
Him spawning out means they are past the 50-yard line and they are holding the line pretty much. Yes, Sante. Yes. Could 2 have taken a route ticket? He could. He could. Now, the reason why I think I would prefer him to hit time is because right now they're in a 4 versus 2 with 20 seconds left. They could bang old, trade, go 1 for 1 based on where they are, spawn them here, and then cut you. They'll have the timings to then cut you. So this is how you make 2 useful while they also spawn here. So I prefer Paco doing this. I agree. I agree with Soggy Sausage. I don't think ticket is the route you want to take when you have numbers. You don't want to take long routes when you have numbers. When you have numbers, you take the quickest route to trades. That's it. Numbers, QRP to trades. No numbers, longest route. Off number 2. The reason why I don't think that's the case is because they have progression. So right here they have progression wherever it is. So right here, this is progression here. This is progression and a natural pinch. This is where you hit time because they're worried about so many ways. There's going to be at least a timing open. So when you get that pinch spawn, same thing on Vault P2. If you're spawning at the back and for some reason you get an elbow spawn, you want to pinch the time. It's a natural pinch. You want to make sure you attack from different angles. Right here, if he takes a ticket route, they still have time and they're not taking complementary routes to break the time. You want to attack from different angles here. Yep. So this is how you take complementary routes to then break the time with the numbers you have. They just get lucky. Well, they do. Vancouver do a really good job of making kills. But if they trade sooner, then LAT get the time and then LAT get P4 rotation. What? The fuck? Okay, chat. If you guys have been watching my locker room clips on Twitter, what lanes do you want to fill first on Redcard P4? What lanes do you want to fill on Redcard P4 and why? What is the reason for that? P1 and hedges, mid P1, and then give me the reason why. Why do you want to do that? Why? Why do you want mid? Why do you want P1 in a wave? What is the purpose of it? What can you do? Yes, we're cutting the long routes. Good. What else? What else can you do? Cutting the long routes. Good. Power spots. Good. Hardest kills off those positions and the road to Money Hill quicker. Chance. Good. Mid for info. Get the crosses. Ante. Good. Create a... That's the answer I'm looking for. Yes, we're killing players off power positions, right? That's the foundation. But the answer I'm looking for is we're funneling enemies. We're funneling enemies and we're denying any sort of team progression. The best setups on Money Hills are setups where you funnel enemy teams. The reason why certain hills are called Money Hills is your ability to, number 1, layer, if you guys know what layering is. Number 2, the routes or the lanes that you pick up and the power spots and the positions you play give you the highest percentage chance to funnel teams, to team fight, to team shot, to win the wave. That's why we call it Money Hills, because of the overwhelmingly high percentage of winning that next wave, because of the fact that enemies have so much to clear. And if enemies successfully clear you, you then layer. You still spawn next to the hill to then help the time. What's good, Sideshow? Cutting off popular angles and funneling them into less favorable. Good. That's why Money Hills are so important. Funneling them forces them to take a route, and if enemies are taking routes, chat, you're soaking the entire time. That's why Money Hills, Vault P4, Rewind P4, Rewind P2, you know, Skyline P4, is it takes into combinations of if you play certain lanes, After one wave, you can really, really blend the teams because you can funnel them. You can team shot them. You force them to clear power positions. Good answers. So right here, 8 has mid. Look at where he's going to spawn. Right next to the hill to do it all again. So chat, if you guys have been paying attention. So Nep gets 1, right? Nep goes 1 for 1. What did Nep have? In this situation, what did Nep have? And if you guys have the emotes, I want you to spam it. Right here, what does Nep have? What is it called? A free life. So chat, this is the understanding. This is what I need you guys to understand. Is if you get a clean wave, I don't care who it is, your furthest pushed up guy in the rotation, or sorry, in the flow, has the ability to use a free life. Look at Neptune, uses his free life. He goes 1 for 1. He makes it a 3 versus 3 on the break for LAT. Now LAT, who have to break the hill, are at a disadvantage because they don't have the numbers, right? They're trying to play for trades. They don't have the numbers in breaking a defending team in this situation. The free life is so important because now they know exactly where one player is going to be. They have info on 2. He's going to come off spawn and refill wherever's necessary, and he can cut where that specific information has told him scrap is going to be. Then he's going to predict where scrap's going to be. That's why free life is so fucking important, chat. Pardon my French. You see that? I think it is mentality. I think it's mental skills.
Trying to give you something extra. At least gets 1 before he falls, and the job for his teammates right now looking easy.
You see that, chat? And the entire time they've used that free life, Neptune pulls out an AR, gets the cross. You know exactly where they are. If you know exactly where they are, you know the micro timings, meaning you know how long it's going to take for them to take a certain route. In this situation, you come off spawn, you use your stuns, you use your nades, and you have the crosses, and you redo it again. That's why the free life is important, and most importantly, that's why picking up the right lanes first is important, because then it gives you the ability to punish teams. That's all Call of Duty is when you're in an advantageous position, you need to punish teams. If you're not in an advantageous position, how do you minimize teams from punishing you? That's what hardpoint is at the end of the day. So right here, you come off spawn. I know exactly how many people is where they are, where they're going to be, and you play to then trade out. And this is how you play Redcard P4. This is a fantastic Redcard P4 from Vancouver. That's what I want you guys to understand when you're playing ranked, is understand what the flow is. Understand what lanes do I need to pick up. Understand what's my spawn telling me. Okay, my spawn is telling me this. Right, I'm going to be prepared for this. This is the lane I want to pick up first. Why? Because then I can do this, this, and this. That's how you guys are going to be flying up the rank in hardpoint for rank play. That's how you'll get iridescent. Because naturally picking up the right lanes gives you the ability to have advantageous gunfights. I know I'm yapping, but you get the idea. Exactly, Deeks. Yes, yes. The conveyor belt was fantastic. The Subway sandwiches have been served with these two boys. Right, chat. I'm going to stop yapping. We're going to listen into Vancouver.
Let's go for a listen in.
I'm gonna go fucking.
I spawn long, I can help you. Listen.
I don't
One of you rotate behind me.
One outside time, okay?
That's it, leave it,
That's fine.
Open the elevator for you guys.
Wouldn't be Cindy, guys.
Okay.
I'm taking the edit, top
I'm going top right to travel, okay? Yeah, I'm gonna play the guy one take. One is been pure. Maybe one ticket. Just nice. this
top
one.
block, I'll take
Ticket,
this one,
ticket,
I'll
ticket. I know you, man.
Look at these.
I see it.
Ticket.
I see it.
Maybe flanking. Maybe flanking.
Watch out, Bricks. He's still done.
Time down.
Our side dubs.
Okay.
Yo, he's got to be mid door time.
I don't take mid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mid door time.
Top block right now, block it.
one.
Keep
Okay.
blocking fast.
I'm BCD. I'm blocking
Get that,
BCD.
get on that.
BCD.
Spawning garage, spawning garage.
Bummy.
I'm blocking BCD. Back BCD.
I have all the right. I have all the right. I have all the right.
Short. Ticket. That's him outside.
Yeah, Rick's fired. Give me a second.
Envoy.
Nothing Eskies.
We're gonna flip after that.
H1.
I'm gonna go.
He ran down there. Yeah, I'm stuck in there.
Get on top,
He's one behind us.
Okay, outside walk.
Eskies dead. Eskies.
Dominique,
Close ticket, close ticket.
Yeah, they're gonna be addiction.
Nice one, Eskies now.
H1 Hydra. H1 guys.
H1
Hydra.
One is in you already. Pretty sure Gochi is in it. Nice.
Some time.
He's here. Watch out, Shane. Back to him. I'm leading it. Sidewalk, probably. I want it left. Push up fires. Charlie Motok. He's on dog. One is behind you. Jump out and I'm here.
Big mid.
Go. And once.
Where you going?
Hold on corner.
That's fine, take it down.
Are you playing that?
Yeah, we should play this. Okay,
There's two down Panko. Down to one shot on time, champ.
Is this shit gonna end? Holy fuck! It's been like 2 minutes.
Nice, good.
He's replaying lights.
I don't have it.
All right, chat. Okay, I think it's a good listening. I think it's a decent listening. There's some things that you guys will recognize that pros do really well is they do the thinking for your teammates. Again, you're hearing people aren't saying what spawns they're getting. People are saying what that spawn is telling them. They're doing the thinking for their teammates. If I'm in a gunfight finessing my fucking life, I can't look at my minimap or my kill feed. I'm not getting information, right? If I come off spawn, I have the time and the ability to tell you whatever the fuck you need to do in the moment, right? The best teams aren't doing everything themselves. One issue I had as a player is I would never listen to comms. I would be so tunneled on my aim. I'm looking at the minimap on my kill feed and I'm doing it all myself. But you need to have trust and the ability to and the ability to take yourself out of the game to use your teammates' information to paint that picture for you. That's how you bring everyone. That's when you have someone like Nasty on your team. He is making the game easy for you. Someone like Ghosty making the game easy for you because they're telling you what you need to do, and if you trust it, you're not hesitating. You're doing it instantly, right? That's what separates the pro teams from. That's one element that separates the pro teams from everyone else. That direction, that thinking for you while shit's getting mixy. That's how you enable people like Hydra, people like Neptune, people like Shotzi to get in flow and do what they need to do if you're thinking for them. They're just going off instinct, feeling, muscle memory, whatever you want to say. Right, so let's go back to that P5. So right here, I just want to watch this P5. In the flow, let's say I'm third in line, but number 2 makes the wrong play given his position in the flow. As third in line, do you hive mind or fill what you should be filled? Hive mind, always. I don't care if the play is wrong as long as you do it together. Because Call of Duty, we play an esports where if you know how to adapt and what your play means and what it's doing in relation to the game, as long as you do it with a teammate, then you can gun your way out of a fucking issue. And the thing with frantic comms is my opinion has always been calm comms are the way forward. But when you have energy in your comms and it becomes slightly frantic, it manifests in the way you play. And when you have energy and urgency and you're screaming and all that sort of shit, you win unwinnables. You're one step ahead. You're so sharp in your thinking. Sure, there's a certain point where it becomes a detriment. But you need a good balance of keeping it calm versus snowballing the game. Having say in moments like finals, for example, or like these sort of games, is by having energy and intensity and urgency, and even if it sounds a bit rather overdose, it can snowball a game. You win 3 or 4 gunfights in a row, it can snowball the rotation. It can snowball, your confidence, and then that manifests in the game. A hive mind means whatever the objective is, whatever the goal is in the moment, you do together. Whether you're taking Charles together, rotating together, I don't know, holding crossfires together. It's just whatever the objective in the moment is, in the situation, you're doing it together. That's a good comm from Nasty. Both of you rotate. Okay. Right, let's look at Vancouver. Is the B bomb side preferred on P5? Yes, abso-fucking-lutely. I would say when it comes to hills on this map, I think that side, out of all of the hills, has the biggest advantage. What's a good setup? In what situation? Are you talking about from like a flow perspective? I mean, ideally for P5, the way we would play it is almost some variation like this. Hell, maybe even just depending on you just want to get to their side. You just when you are BS and D from a flow perspective, hill is the last thing you're worrying about. You're just trying to get to their side because you spawn them deep and you're in abilities where you can cut them as long as you're blocking, and obviously you're going to deny ticket spawns too. So it's just get to their side, spawn them deep, funnel them. Yes, they'll spawn deep garage, yes. Okay, let's see how they play this P1. Oh my god, okay. So right here. Look at how they play this P1, chat. Look at how they play this P1, right? Vancouver. They've got both sides, right? So, if you're Vancouver, what are you predicting? Where do you block? You can block from here, here, here. Just depending on what kills are going down, what's happening in the flow. Alright, chat. Put yourself in Vancouver's shoes. If you guys were paying attention earlier, right? Why are they taking the routes that they are for this P1? Why are they not just all doing this? Why? What's the reason? Someone give me an answer. What's the reason? Okay, but I want you to put yourself in Vancouver's shoes. So they don't have numbers, true. But when you're Vancouver, I want you to predict. What are you predicting right now? Alright, okay, harder to get in flow for LAT when they come from different positions. Okay, I like that answer, but that's not necessarily why they're doing what they're doing. Put yourself in Abuza's, put yourself in Nasty's, in Neptune's shoes. Right? Because of the map control they already have. Who? Because of the map control, who has? Think when you're Vancouver, what are you predicting? What are you trying to anticipate right here? Why has Neptune not come off spawn and just done this? Why? Yes! Now we're thinking. Now we're thinking like pros, chat. Understand in the moment, you're predicting based on the wave, based on the kills, where could LAT be? Where could they be? You're using process of elimination, you're using anticipation, my favorite 2 fucking words, to predict how LAT are going to be set up. Because if you know how LAT are setting up, if you know what map control they have, you make them useless. This is when you take routes. You don't, when you're breaking a hill, chat, when you're in a disadvantageous position, so right here, chat, Vancouver are in a disadvantageous position. When you're in a disadvantageous position, you don't take fights where the enemy team has the advantage. That's just fucking brain dead, right? So what you do is you respect what map control that they potentially have, and you flip the map on them, and you minimize the disadvantage you have by making them useless. That is why they will play to control this side of the map. Because if you kill the guy off time, he's forced to do something. He's forced to do something, right? And then it gives you a higher chance or a higher probability of winning the kills because they have to compensate for time, which then you can flip. Or LAT don't even get time, which is good for you because now you're minimizing a disadvantageous situation because you're understanding as a baseline what positions LAT have and what situation you're in. See that? Now you get kills. Now you can flip the map on them and trade. And now Vancouver have gone from a disadvantageous position to a advantageous position. Wow. Wow. Yep. 6 after. Yep, exactly. Right, 8 seconds left. Abuza's got a hybrid spot. Right, chat. What do we call this? What did Abuza have? What do we call this? What do we call this position? And what is the importance of this position in relation to this? When LAT starts to kick up on this map, can you talk about some things that flip the switch? Yes, will do. Yep. But right here, chat. What's the time on the clock? What do they need to do? And what is important about Abuza's position? Hybrid spot, good. But that's not the word I'm looking for. And it's not power spot either. What kind of a spot is Abuza in? Right here. Progression spot. So chat, what is a progression spot? What is the importance and the significance of a progression spot, especially on a rotation? Blocking for next spawns? Not necessarily. Cypher, good answer, but not necessarily. Why is a progression spot important? Think about it, even in the word. What can it allow for this person and this person to do? What's good, Soga? Yes, Aristote. Yeah, very good answer. Very, very good answer. So, understand the situation you're in, chat, right? This is why this position on rotation is so important. This hybrid spot is so important on rotation. Because look at the situation he's in. He's in a 1 versus 3, chat. He's in a 1 versus 3, right? They have to look for him, right? And because he's in a progression spot, he's not only hard to kill, but he's buying time for his teammates to get to him. It gives your teammates the ability to get to you and use that progression spot to springboard the next wave, to springboard the next attack. Right here. So right here, chat, look at this. They are clearing. They're looking for him. They are clearing positions to look for him. Because they're clearing positions, they can't get into end goal situation. They can't then chain this rotation. So look at it right here, chat. It's not. Yes, it's being a hard kill, but that's not all. It's the fact that where he is gives his teammates the ability to get to him and use that. Because now he has info here, info here, info here, info here, so on, so on, so on, right? That's why it's important. So, Abuza could stay alive here. He could stay alive here. But this ain't a progression spot because he's just going to get instantly traded. He can still play his life, but they can clear it. It's easier for him to clear. But he's playing a position to set his teammates up. That's the importance of a progression spot. He gets that 1 kill. Now he has to come back. He has to come back, right? Yeah, he dies, but if he plays his life a bit more, it opens up a timings for his teammates. And because of that, because they open up, it opens up a timings and they trade the right kill, they spawn next to time and bang out time anyway. You see here? Nice, wow. Obviously, slight misplay with 0-4 dying. If 0-4 doesn't die, this is a 100-point club. Like, not even kidding. But this is when you give one of the best teams in the game, LAT, an inch, they take a mile. And now, to your point, this is where LAT will start kicking up a gear. Okay, right here. Right. You see them two spawning out because they didn't have a high line. Huge kill from Nep. Right, chat. Right here, chat. Why does Nep get this kill? Right? So I want you to put yourself in Nep's shoes next time you guys play ranked, right? Why does Nep get this kill but elect to not play time? Why does he then push this way? What's the situation he's in right now? Why is he not playing time here? Yes, he doesn't have the numbers. Chat, if Nep forces time, that is information for LAT. He doesn't know where LAT is. They don't have numbers. This is where you play progression. This is where you play your life. Your teammates then get to you. If he plays time here, he doesn't know that they could potentially collapse on him. Right? So for you guys in ranked, understand when it's your role and your responsibility to play time. If you have numbers, if you have kills, if you have map control, and you're in positions to trade, you play time. If 5 and 6 were close to him, he'll play time. When you don't understand when you need to value your life, Neptune is showing you here when to value your life versus when not to. Can't play time when your teammates aren't in positions to look over you. Need to take space and play guaranteed. Yes. Even more so when your teammates aren't in a position to trade you. That's the most important thing. Is they're not in positions to trade you and the situation isn't favorable. They don't have numbers and they don't have abilities to trade. Which then he's a sitting duck in hill if LAT decide to 2v1 him on time. Every single time and going 50-50, and they might not have won this rotation, but Neptune is keeping that. Good job playing his life there. Good try. Good try right there.
LAThieves collecting, but an 80-point deficit. Vancouver Surge, well, they've been surging indeed. See if our champions could pull this back.
Okay.
What a gap to close.
Right here.
Ghosty now from the outside.
They have the potential of the free life if needed. Look at Paco getting 2. Neptune's bailed him out so many times. Good trades. Nice. 20 seconds left. LAT have everything. What is Dan doing, chat? What is Ghosty doing here? That's good. What is he doing? What did Ghosty have, chat? What did Ghosty have? What did Ghosty just have here? Using his free life. Yes, good. Using his free life. Good job. You don't win the trades. Right here is kind of messy. I mean, if Neptune's not getting 3 pieces, LAT get P4 rotation. It's just what it is. Yep, Cypher using his free life, taking space, using his free life. I mean, honestly, Nepa's just build him out here. I like. What can you say?
This stage has treated them real good.
Right, let's see. What do you notice about LAT? What are they doing here, chat? What do you notice that LAT are doing here? There's 2 things. 2 things that LAT are doing really well in this situation to give themselves the best chance of setting up a break. What are the 2 things you guys notice? Yeah, so what do we call it? What are they doing? Hard on one, soft on the other. Not necessarily. There's 3 things. 3-1 break. Good. What is the first guy doing? What is the first guy doing, chat?
has treated them real good.
First guy taking a spawn. They're taking a 3-1. Yep, Floof, good answer. They're waiting for the play to develop. So right here, they're filling in through mid. Remember, guys, we want mid control for this P4 because it's a complementary route to him in order to break, right? You're taking a complementary route, which means you're in positions where you can trade and take the same fights. Right here, they're waiting for Paco to set up the play, to initiate the play, and then they'll do what they need to do. So right here, they're waiting for Paco to make the play. Once trades are going down, now they'll collapse on time. You could argue maybe Paco could go all the way around, spawn in flowers, which then at that point someone will turn around. But if they then turn around, they then opens up a timing for them to do something. You could argue that. Instead of Paco doing this, he could have went all the way around. This guy would have spawned here. But at least it gives them the ability to get to the time. Right, let's look at 6. Let's look at 7. What is 6 just picked up here, chat? What is 6 picking up here? No, I disagree. I don't think the blue route. I think him doing this, in my opinion, is a better route than him doing this. It's not. It doesn't take a long time to just do this. I think he should do this and then spawn him here. Okay, if 5 reads it and turns around, it's fine. At least he's not watching these two crossing like this. Yep, we do this. That helped us against Toronto. Like, if you're the guy pinching, you want them to know you are pinching. You want them to know you're pinching, because that way you deny them spawning here. They're gonna be tweaking. Someone is either turning around, purposefully turning. You want them to turn around, or they don't read it in time and you kill them in the back and pinch, to then either re-bump out this way or cut them from plat here. It doesn't. That half a second is not gonna have like a detriment to what Paco is doing here. And there's no ability for Paco to take a QRP towards time because they have only made 1 kill. They've only made 1 kill right here. If there was multiple kills in this situation, you take the QRP. You bang straight away. But it's a 3v3 and the advantage is still on Vancouver because the game has to come to them. They're cutting, right? Half a second doing this, he either turns around or you kill him in the back. 1 spawns here, you're banging out time, you're spawning close. Easy brick.
Open plat to play. They got the cut style. 0-4 playing a cheeky spot. His teammate in time. Well, doesn't win the gun.
Would you say watching the locker room more than playing is bad? No. A lot of pro players watch a shit ton of VOD. Does your scoreboard influence the decision in your opinion? No, it doesn't. The scoreboard, pro players rarely, from a game management perspective, pro players won't look at the score or the scoreboard because they're still trying to set up the play in the moment. Because the scoreboard can switch depending on the situation you're in. And if you play a situation like optimal, the scoreboard will look different. So right here, let's say hypothetically, yeah, they're down by, I don't know, 65 points, right? Whatever. But then Paco does this, he dies, they collapse on time, and the wave is relatively clean. They spawn here. They're in a good position to get 40. And then the situation is different, score's different. You know, you don't, from a game management perspective, you just have to do what's in the moment. Yeah, I mean, they could sacrifice time, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's just when you're LAT, it doesn't affect the decision to give you the most time. Or it shouldn't. In this situation.
An open plat to play. They got the cut style. 0-4 playing a cheeky spot. His teammate in time. Well, doesn't win the gunfight. Envoy's going to drop him. Neptune going to be contesting. 0-4 the cleanup crew is
yeah, good trades out of Vancouver. 0-4's aping. Using that free life. 6 picking up mid. There you go, chat. Playing his credit. Where's Paco survived here? He gets 1. Oh, he just runs across. Okay. And then he gets 2, right? Oh my god, he gets 2. Mr. Bailout. Hydra just made... Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And so essentially, if Paco took that route earlier, you're in this exact position with 40 seconds left, and you hold the time. Yeah, you have to. It's less about damage control, because again, hardpoint is about maximizing the advantages you have and minimizing the disadvantage you have. Right there, if Paco took that route, he minimizes the disadvantage their team is in, and then flips it, so then he's in the advantage. The routes you take can't be, except for a couple situations, can't be dictated by the scoreline, because the route you take in the moment will be the right one, which can then flip the game. Yes, Sauga, 100%. I do. Your SMGs win you games. Your SMGs win you games. 100%. The best teams have the best SMG duos. Your SMGs win you games. Okay, let's see how they play this. Look at the routes LAT are taking. Wow. Collapsing on that time. Huge. Good trades. Nice. This was so good from Paco. Look at what Paco's doing, chat. What is Paco doing right now, chat? What is Paco doing right now? Look at number 2. What is Paco doing and what is good about this? Yeah, Manias haven't been significant for a while. For at least like 3 years, in my opinion. Or at least as significant every single year. What has Paco done that is so good? I want you guys to start thinking about what he's done. Yeah, block BS and he collapse on time, but look at it from a micro perspective. Put yourself in Paco's shoes. What is he doing? What is he doing? And why has he not just ran through like this? Right? And then look at this now. What is he doing here? 2 things. And I want a micro answer. I don't want a macro answer. I want you guys to think about it as though you have the controller in your hand. So what has he done here? First of all, what's he doing here? Creating a layer, not necessarily Cypher. Not necessarily creating a layer. Making them think about him buying time. Yes, so there's a reason why he doesn't just bang out like this. He's playing info. Why is he playing info? Because he's using anticipation based on the situation he was in the wave before to predict where Vancouver are going to be. He's predicting what map control Vancouver have, right? This, again, if you guys have watched a BZ Play Like a Pro episode 2, this separates the elite SMGs to everyone else. He's not mindlessly banging through to BS&D. He's using anticipation to be like, okay, someone is going to be here. He's predicting what you're going to do. That's what Pro COD eventually becomes. Is like, what is an enemy doing in that situation? Okay, they have rotation for new, so someone is going to be watching the pinch. This is all repetition, so the more scrims you have, the more you're figuring this out, right? He doesn't automatically bang through because he's predicting somebody to be watching it, because that's what you would do if you're rotating first, right? Look at how he plays it. Look at how he clears this, trying to get any sort of information if they're in the common spots. When you're clearing things, you're trying to figure out what spots the enemy is going to be in. Are they in the common power or hybrid spots? So right here, he's like, right, I don't see anything here. Process of elimination, I'm going to check this. Could they be in this corner, this corner, this corner, this corner, so on and so forth, right? Because he's predicting someone is watching the pinch, right? Especially when he's got this kill here. He's expecting somebody to look at him because he's got that kill as well, right? Look at how he's clearing. Stays alive. Doesn't do anything, stays alive. Him staying alive from a micro perspective is dragging him away to open up a timing for his teammates. This is trust, and this is pacing as an SMG. This is understanding. As an SMG, I don't always have to go 100 miles per hour. He's clearing the obvious spots, understanding the situation he is in. He's down by 60 points, but Paco's not panicking. This is one of the best attributes of Hydra, is this guy never panics. I have never seen the boy panic in my fucking life. The only time he panics is when I'm smoking his bitch ass in table tennis, right? He is completely composed. Right here, he's not doing too much. He's not making a desperate play. He's not making a desperation chow, right? Right here, he's taking his time. He's baiting 7 to look at him for 3 to chow, and he's buying time. This is the fucking superstar of the team along with Scrap, right? This is your goddamn superstar, not doing too much. Understanding, right, in the moment, my teammates have kills. We're in a 4 versus 2. I know at least one person's BS&D, 4 versus 1. They're going to help to trade. Then I'm going to chow, right? This is what I need you guys to understand. This is the differences between how you get to a pro and say like iridescent. This is iridescent versus a pro. If you're an iridescent in ranked, I promise you, you are not staying the fuck alive. You are not trusting your teammates. You're going to be, my bitch ass is ego challenging. I'm ego challenging the fuck out of this guy. I'm heat checking him, right? But when you get to challenges, when you get to the pro level, these are the plays that differentiate your top teams from everyone else. I know you're doing this series to teach people what play doing, but what is actually going wrong sometimes when you... I'm very hesitant in doing that. Very, very hesitant. Number 1, positive affirmation and what teams do right sticks more than what teams do wrong. Number 2, I'm not trying to tell you what you're doing wrong personally, because I'm not on a team. I'm not going to tell you what your mistakes are, because then I can carry on for next year. Not from like an arrogant perspective, but like I don't want to highlight things that you should be doing better. Either because number 1, yes, arrogantly enough, okay, I don't want to do your job for you. But then number 2, I don't want to... There's so much negativity in the scene. I want to highlight the good things people do. But the main point, general main point, is positivity, positive affirmation. What you do well sticks for you guys more from a science perspective than any negativity does. Exactly. All of this and they still lose the match. It happens. It happens, Raz. It happens, mate. You know, at the end of the day, you know, Vancouver capitalized on situations better than LAT did. There's still a lot of good teams do. Sometimes a team just outplayed you in certain situations, which is the difference between winning or losing, you know? It happens.
Thieves, the gun's starting to get a little bit hot. Some players starting to get a little bit spread out, and the momentum may be starting to change. But every single kill Vancouver gets is going to set them.
Look at that, good P5 from LAT. And this is the flow I'm talking about, chat. You want to make sure if you're on the BS&D side, obviously last guy block in the flow. But when you are the first guy, you have that free life, you're pushing out, you're spawning them deep. This is what I'm saying. Use that free life, make them take routes. Either funnel them into a 3-man team fire, team shot, or a crossfire, or you force them to take routes.
Another clean 4 down in LAT.
There you go, Paco using his free life. He's getting specific info. If he dies, he's going to spawn close. It is. Winning, as the year progresses, teams basically have a fully fleshed out game plan. Most teams, for 90%, play the same way. You all have the same game plans. You all know what side of the maps you want, what lanes you want to fill. Now, between winning and losing is how you adapt in the last 10%. How do you use your free life? How do you react off a rogue spawn? How do you use hive mind? The situation where Paco was in, they are the plays that determine whether you win or lose. The last 10%.
Unbelievable timing.
Like right here.
Lives another day, and he's still just slowing him down. So
Spawning up.
things are getting intense. The comeback is in. It is real, and
Yes.
will go for the
Why didn't they change SD strats? I don't know. No idea. It's one of them where I see it from their side, where it's like their S&D strats work. Like their breakoffs work. They don't need to change it. To be fair, it has worked all year. They don't need to reinvent the wheel. I think for EWC, they'll have like minor changes. I know they will. Yeah, no worries, guys. Yes, run his bitch ass down, Pago. You heard that, chat? Did you hear what Envoy said? Chat, you heard what Envoy said? Yep, pinch on old. Good comms. Right, I'm going to stop yapping. Let's listen to LAT.
Thieves, you've got a lovely hold here on stage. Gonna go back to the middle. Hydra. Unbelievable timing. 04 fights, lives another day. And he's still just slowing him down so much. Things are getting intense. The comeback is in. It is real. And for Thieves, we'll go for the
Appreciate you, Mil.
Ticket weak and one mid edge. I knew. He didn't get it. Ran out of ticket.
Yeah,
Ran out of ticket. One's already mid edge.
They're already mid edge. Nice, they already full.
Kill this guy hedge. Focus hedge.
Yeah, I'm coming at you.
I don't see him mid edge.
No.
I don't see mid edge. Yeah, probably is.
I'm rushing this.
Yeah, you go for it. I didn't send him. Yo, S2, behind you. S2. Nice.
Looking red hedge. I have yellow hedge.
Yo, pitch shot goal, by the way. I just want SQ. 20 search.
Yeah, in top right ladder. Take it. Full tick.
One side.
Our side ticket and depot.
Heard you. Need suck time, boys.
I'm red edge. One.
Yo, SQ. Another one, same spot.
Yeah, default.
Nice, three. Nice. 0-4.
Last guy.
I have our side ticket.
Gonna be P2.
Before I finish, so after I finish this listening, guys, tell me if you guys have been paying attention, what are LAT doing on the Esky side of the map from a flow perspective? What are they doing that we talked about?
Okay, yeah, we're good. I have S1. I
pitch
have
S1.
our
He's gonna be
ticket.
P2, boys. He's gonna be out.
It's just 04. We're good.
Top right.
Stage. 04's going S2 right now.
Stage, missing that.
He's gonna be left.
Our ticket.
Nice.
From stage.
Top stage. I'll play for this guy.
Responding
He's
me.
still top one bullet.
Heard you. I'm aping him. Yo, left side, Paco. Yo, look my ticket.
One bullet.
I have our ticket.
I'm ironing DP2.
Could be dark.
Paco, I'm getting back. I have security. I'm getting back over.
Yeah, anything ticket. I'm looking dark.
Paco, do you have my deep left? I have your security. Already do. Close right. Jump top right.
Top right.
Sidewalk and top right. Jump down. Sidewalk and sidewalk.
Sidewalk is up.
Two on time.
Okay,
make time.
we got time, boys.
Two on time, boys.
Yeah, get sidewalk.
I'm trying to get sidewalk here. Our son in on time. 3 on time.
Surge with a late break. Here we go.
Okay, chat. What did Paco do really well? Here?
P2, boys. P2.
Right here. What's Paco doing really well here?
I have S1.
I pitch
I have our
He's gonna
ticket.
be P2, boys. He's gonna be out.
It's just 04. We're good.
Top right.
Stage. 04's going S2 right now.
Stage, missing that.
He's gonna be left.
Our ticket.
Nice.
From
Top stage. I'll play for this guy.
What is Paco doing really well here? So wait, 5 seconds on the P1.
I'm red edge. One.
Another one, same spot.
No. Because the couple seconds that they lost, you need to get space because you have the potential to get more time. Now, right here, chat, what does Paco have? What is he doing fantastically from a macro level? And tell me from a micro level. What is he doing here? And then what does he do after?
Gonna be
Look, our
P2.
ticket. Yeah, we're good. I have S1.
I pitch
I have our
He's gonna
ticket.
be P2, boys. He's gonna be out.
It's just 04. We're good.
Chess, not checkers, Willow. 100%. Yeah, 100%. You're investing 2 or 3 seconds to guarantee or to give yourself the best chance of getting the entire time. So what do we call this? What is Paco doing? What is Paco doing right here? Free fucking life, chat. So right here, chat, for my new guys in here, this is the importance, first of all, of picking up the right lanes. Right? This is your flow. This is what we talked about, right? You're playing basically spots on both sides from a flow perspective because you're going to spawn teams in a certain place and you force them to take certain routes based on the timings. But right here, Paco is showing you how he's going to play his guarantee and then use his free life. Call of Duty gets to the point where if you have your talented players, your Shotsies, your Pacos in this situation, your Joe Deceives, players like that, right? Your Abizis, your Simp. This is how you utilize the talent, your Snoopies. This is how you utilize the talent of your incredibly fast players. It's not about playing perfect, right? But it's about getting mixy. It's about using your advantage and your free life you have here to win that next wave, then adapting. He doesn't just sit here, chat. He takes his timing. You could argue maybe it's not the perfect play because 5 has taken a timing through what Paco's doing. But look at how Paco is using his free life in order to get specific information. He has the confidence, even though his team are currently 193 to 238, using his free life to take a timing, catch people sprinting, getting as many kills as he can to then put himself in a position to trade and his team adapt from that. This is how you utilize the best players in the game. This is how you utilize talent. This is how we would play over the past few years, right? Look at it, chat.
He's gonna be P2, boys. He's gonna be.
Now let's look at it from a micro perspective. He's taking a timing. This guy's not ready for him, so he gets a free kill. So now they're technically in a 4 versus 3 with the advantage. He then trades a boozer, going 1 for 1 with Envoy. They're now in a 3 versus 2, and now all they have to do is refill the right lanes and play to trade the kills towards the time. That's how you use your free life perfectly in this situation to maintain control. And then this is how you then combine adapting in the moment. This isn't perfect COD, but this ends up being perfect COD because they're adapting in the moment. Can you do the Optic versus Toronto or Optic versus Breach and watch it from Boston and Toronto? I'm really hesitant to talk about what teams are doing wrong because, again, it's not my, as sad as it sounds, it ain't my job to do so. I don't want to tell you what you're doing wrong. I know the season's over or whatever, but I still don't really want to do it. And I also just want to highlight the positives of teams.
He's gonna be left.
I'll play for this guy. Responding.
And now they then adapt. You see what I'm saying, chat? This is how you use your free life. This is how you utilize talent, and this is how you can snowball it. I thought they were going to win it here. I genuinely thought they were going to win it here. I might, Jax, you know what? I might do it. I might do it. Am I down to coach challenges? No. If I'm not in the CDL next year, I will not coach challenges. I've spent most of my career in challenges. I'm not going to do it again. I coached for 3 years in challenges. I have no interest in doing it again. Am I going to Riyadh? No, I wish I was, but Riyadh's too expensive. I don't want to drop 7-8k on going to Riyadh. Hey, if I do a GoFundMe and you guys want to drop 7k, I swear to God, I will fucking live stream every day from Riyadh. That's balls in your fucking court. I swear to God, if you drop 8k right now, I swear I will book a flight right this now. I'll book a flight right now. I've got my fucking iPhone. I will live stream the entire thing, including me, everything. Damn. No balls? Aye, Kizzy, I'd do it, mate. Kizzy, I'd fucking do it, lad. I'd fucking do it. You drop 7k right now, I'll fucking do it. Alright, chat. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do.